The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
Jesus said to the crowd, "They will seize and persecute you. They will hand you over to the synagogues and to prisons, and they will have you led before kings and governors because of my name. It will lead to your giving testimony. Remember, you are not to prepare your defense beforehand, for I myself shall give you a wisdom in speaking that all your adversaries will be powerless to resist or to refute. You will even be handed over by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends, and they will put some of you to death. You will be hated by all because of my name, but not a hair on your head will be destroyed. By your perseverance, you will secure your lives." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
When we are preparing for new beginnings, we prepare for them by realizing that a beginning does have to also be preceded by an ending of something else. And so this last week of the church's year, the liturgy concentrates on endings and calls us to faith in the new beginnings. We have to navigate through a world that is passing away. In some ways, I think that it was easier in past ages, or perhaps in other societies, where the dividing line between good and evil seems to be so much clearer, where basically you are struggling with persecution and real physical violent opposition. And one of the characteristics of our society, at least so far, is that there does seem to be evil on both sides. There does seem to be good on both sides. That within our immensely polarized society, each side demonizing the other, you look at one side and you say, yeah, certain values there are our values. You look at the other side and you say, certain different values there are our values. And yet in both sides, that complexus of good values is also mixed with values that are opposed to God's way and God's kingdom. And they fight one another rather than perhaps trying to understand where some of the values of one side are coming from and the values of the other side are coming from, and say, can we get together on this in some way? They simply have to demonize one another. And it may be the most difficult thing that the Lord has given to his people, to his church, is what's happening right now, to navigate between and among conflicting values on which there is some good on each side, and to kind of discern how it might be possible to bring about some sort of dialogue, some sort of conversation, some sort of bridge building rather than wall building. And so I think the particular thing that gives rise to persecution now is that when we try to do that, both sides go on the attack. And how we navigate through that, I think that the words of the Lord here are very significant. We've got to be careful of bringing our own wisdom into it, preparing our, quote, defense beforehand. Rather, we need to base however we navigate and respond to the situations of our world today, we need to base that on prayer, to receive the wisdom of God, to be able to discern within the present conflicts and polarization where there is true wisdom, where there is goodness, where there is truth, where there is beauty.